So you're probably watching this because you've got DPF problems and you don't want to get a new DPF or pay someone 300 quid to clean it. So I found a way how to clean your DPF for 12 quid, I'm not even joking, fixed all my problems, and I was quoted 600 quid to refurbish the DPF or 1,700 quid to get it replaced. Funny thing is, I've mentioned in the last Ford Ranger videos that the new Ranger's got DPF problems, and now I'm having DPF problems. So when you're having DPF problems, what you first need to do is find out what sort of DPF problems is. 99% of the time, you've got problems with the soot accumulation, so you've got too much of a back pressure, like basically your DPF is too full. Once you figure that out, you need to figure out why it filled up, because no matter if you fix it, how you fix it, if you don't fix the problem that caused the DPF filling up, it will fill up again. 99% of the times it's usually back because of short journeys. The car can't regen itself. Most cars regen within 10 to 15 miles when they reach up to temperature. If you're doing short journeys, obviously they won't regen. So first of all, if you're having check engine lights or DPF lights on your dash, take your car on a long journey and drive in a lower gear so you get high RPM. That's the easiest and the cheapest way to fix it. If it doesn't fix it, you need to start digging in. You will need to borrow or get your own OBD scanner. I bought my own ages ago and it saved me so much money. I'll put a link down for my scanner. So the first thing to check if you're actually getting DPF problem is go into your fuse box and check all the fuses regarding the glow plugs, temperatures, sensors. Most cars is right underneath there. So on these cars, with the Ford 2.2, you need to check for, don't know, I'll put it on the screen, because you need to check the evaporator fuse if it's not blown, your glow plugs. People say glow plugs are not very related to DPS, but they really are, especially when it's cold outside, because glow plugs preheat your cylinders. So when you crank the engine, it fires straight up. If cylinders are not preheated, it will still start, but a lot of unburnt diesel will travel through down into the DPF and get stuck there, and it will eventually solidify, clogging the DPF. So that's why you need to make sure your glow plugs are working correctly. If you're that sort of person that always runs the car all the way to red, like fuel level, the car will not regenerate. Most cars will not regenerate if there's not at least a half a fuel tank. So I started having DPF problems, and I do long journeys, the car gets up to temperature, all that. So I put my car scanner in, started looking, and I noticed my DPF pressure is at over 80 millibar, and it should be at idle around 5 to 10 millibar. So I started researching this engine, the 2.2 TDCi. It comes in loads of transits as well. So I came across this guy called O'Reilly's Autos. Genuinely, this guy is probably one of the smartest people regarding DPF that's out there. If you don't want to tackle issue on your own, try and get in touch with him. He will 100% sort you out. From his videos, I've realised that these engines have problem with the evaporator clogging. The evaporator sprays diesel into your DPF to raise the temperatures up so it can actually start the regen on its own. First thing was, I took it out and I tried to blow through the pipe, and obviously it was blocked. You can get a new one for about 50 quid, but the cheaper way is just to heat it up, and it will break out all the carbon inside of it and it will fix it. That's all I done, and it fixed it, and it's working fine. I've tested it, it works fine. But DPF is still a problem, it's still clogged. So I found the cause of the problem and I fixed it. You can buy different products, you can buy different additives, you can take the DPF off the car. I didn't want to do that because all my bolts in my DPF are clogged. I'll show you where my DPF is. Most cars got a sort of different setup with a DPF. So most cars have the DPF located somewhere here behind the engine. Mine's got it longitudinally on the bottom of the engine, so there's no way of me filling up the DPF with the actual liquid that will break out all the carbon. A good liquid to clean your DPF with, if you can't take it off the car, is Win's DPF cleaner. It's about £30 on Amazon, and all you do is take off your DPF, you plug the holes and you fill it up, and you leave it sitting for about 24 hours, and then you just dump it out, put it back in. That's a well-known solution to fix clean your DPF. But obviously I didn't want to do that. I can't really do that because I can't really fill it up. So what I decided, I went back to K2 and I went through the catalogue of what products they have, and they have this, hold on a minute, they have this thing called DPF cleaner, and all it is like a spray foam and what it does is so it breaks up the carbon, and then it just comes out of the exhaust in vapor form, in like a foamy vapor form. Some people spray it into your O2 sensor, but my O2 sensor is nowhere near the DPF, so that's a no-go for me. You can spray it through the DPF pressure switch, but when you pull this out, you've got two pipes there, but they're too thin for the nozzle to go through. So you can spray the product in via one of these two tubes, and to find out which one to spray it into, you'll probably have to look at, well, you will have to look at your DPF, and there'll be two tubes on it. One that will be at the end of the DPF, like at the bottom, that's the closest to the exhaust, and then one that's like somewhere in the middle, and that's the one you want to put it in, the one in the middle. So what I decided to do, on the bottom of the car, where there is a DPF temperature sensor, I unbolted that out. Well, it took quite a lot of persuasion to unbolt it, because they all do, and I just fed the nozzle through that, and I sprayed it, put the temperature sensor back in, let it sit for about 10-20 minutes, and then I just drove the car. A bit harsher than I should, but it cleaned it up. It's simple as that, genuinely, it's simple as that, and it worked 100%. Another thing to look out for when you're looking for your live data on your OBD scanner is your car getting up to temperature? If not, you've got a problem with your heating and cooling system, because DPF will not regenerate if the car's under 65 degrees. I had the problem with this. I thought it was the thermostat being stuck open, but it's the fan clutch that's constantly on. So I just put a piece of cardboard here to block the radiator temporarily, so I can get a new fan clutch, because the fan clutch is stuck closed, so it constantly, the fan is on 100, like full on. Another thing to check is your car reading the ambient temperature correctly. Loads of new cars, if they can't read the ambient temperature, will not regenerate, because they need to calculate what sort of fueling you need to actually perform the DPF clean, the regeneration. These, you don't have to relearn the DPF values. They will do it on their own, as long as you just drive it for like half an hour on the motorway. So I've ended up relearning the values manually, but you can just leave it as it is and it will relearn the values on its own. So yeah, for 12 quid you can fix your DPF at home, no problem. You don't have to dismantle pretty much anything, you just have to unscrew a few screws, and that's it. But make sure you always find what's caused the problem. It could be as simple as you driving too many short distances and the car doesn't have enough time to actually heat up. And if you ignore this problem for way too long, it will eventually damage your DPF beyond repair, and you'll have to replace it. You can go down the cheeky route of deleting it, but then you're having problems with selling the car, emissions and sort of that things. So just fix it the right way and you're fine. And also DPF deletes are usually about £200 to £300. This cost me £12 to fix, so just do it the proper way. If this video helps you, make sure you like, subscribe and comment what you thought, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bosh.